It's your freedom I'm focused on. The freedom of the responsible majority of us who are fully vaccinated.
Justin Trudeau says his party's election platform is for the responsible majority of Canadians who have gotten their COVID vaccines and are troubled by the rise in anti-vaccine sentiment. The platform, which was late in arriving compared to the other parties, promises $78 billion in new spending, with focuses on childcare, healthcare, and climate change. But Trudeau says he's not bothered by the fact that his plan doesn't have a timeline for bringing the budget back into balance.
I think there are a number of different ways of looking at how the economy is progressing. Me, I try to focus on people. And when you look at jobs, we've actually recovered 92% of all the jobs we lost during this pandemic. For comparison's sake, the United States has only recovered about 75% of the jobs lost during this pandemic.
The Liberal plan does project spending to eventually scale down and revenue to rise over 5 years. The bulk of that revenue will come from a 3% tax hike on profit over $1 billion taken in by big banks and insurance companies. But even with new taxes, Canada would only take in $1 more for every $3 spent.
Up until now, we've known what the Conservatives are planning to do. We've had a pretty good sense of the New Democrats, but the Liberals hadn't put out their full plan. And so now Canadians can take those three platforms and start to compare and decide which one is going to be the best for them and ultimately for the country as a whole.
Abacus data recently polled voters on who they think is best to deal with issues facing Canada. The Liberal platform appears to play to those strengths, as the Liberals ranked as best to tackle healthcare and climate change, but Conservatives topped polling for best party to handle the cost of living. But David Coletto says cost of living issues will vary based on age.
Every voter looks at the cost of living and affordability through their own lens. And so for childcare, that's a big issue for younger families, those that want to start a family in the next few years, and is in large parts of this country a huge expense. But if you're older, if you're more in your middle-aged or in your seniors, cost of living means something different. It may mean, you're living on a fixed income, and so things like the price of food or your telecom services or gas becomes actually the source of anxiety or pressure on your household budget.
In Ottawa, Xiaoli Li, City News.